Hi guys, I'm Lillian from the Postmodern family, and today you are going to join us on this Christmas episode on taking a tour of the house and what it's looked like basically since last year when we moved in, and talking a little bit about the traditions that we've picked up here for how we celebrate Christmas. So in case you didn't know, last year we bought a house in the UK, and we basically spent all Christmas last year working on the house. So we didn't have a very settled, cozy little Christmas. It was very much work, work, work on the house. So we'd like to show you what we've done to the house, and also just share with you what we are doing now to celebrate Christmas since we have the time. While we're out here, the first thing I want to point out is we changed a lot about the front of the house. The house looks really different than it does currently today. The windows used to be white. It kind of looked like the neighbors, but the neighbors' windows were actually newer than the ones that we inherited when we bought this house. The front door was actually on the side. Do you see where there's a little bit of a ledge and the light comes out? That's where the door used to be. And there used to be no, what is this called again? Pavement, place to walk. So what would happen is this was all grass, and we would have to walk here and kind of duck out of the way of the car if we had one. But since then, we've put a walkway in all the way to the front of our new door, which is a beautiful traditional red color. And I think it works perfectly with our Christmas wreath. And I'll turn the light on if you can see any lights. Besides the windows being new and black, we also added these beautiful bars, or whatever they're called. What are they called again?
Called LED.
These LED bars.
These LED.
Originally, when we got our first quote, we just went plain and simple, give us the cheapest thing you've got. And then we started looking at what it would look like on the house, and it just didn't look that appealing. So Felipe has a very specific taste for aesthetics, and that's why we decided to go with these LED bars, which I think create a more traditional looking house, instead of just a clear, like a plain window, I guess. So all of the front of the house was changed over to black frames with LED bars. What was strange about this house originally was that this window was a small window. It was, I don't know if maybe this is a nice sign for where it used to be. It was a small window. So when you looked at the house, it didn't look symmetric. The three other windows were relatively similar in size, but this one was small, so we actually expanded it and made it wider to reflect the one on the top. So it's as close as we could get to the same size as the one on the top, because there's such a beauty in symmetry. So if you look at our house now, you've got the red door in the front, and you got beautiful windows on each side of similar size, pretty much symmetric. The other change since last Christmas is this protrusion from my belly, which is evidence of a baby growing in there. And the baby will be due in May. So when we bought the house, we pretty much filled it up. And now we're just going to make it so that we have to do an extension. All right, let's go inside. So you see this entryway used to be a side entrance, and it was a cold place. So we had an extra door right here, which meant that it was a very cold little external, enclosed porch, but it wasn't very warm at all. Now it's very toasty, especially since we have a new wood-burning stove and a fire on. So come on in. I'm gonna take my shoes off because we are Chinese. I'm Chinese. And in here, the biggest massive difference, I think, is this wall. So we talked a lot about this wall last time. The end of our series on building the house and reconstructing the house, this wall was still not complete. So now we've got a beautiful built-in shelves, bookshelves and drawers on the bottom, cabinets. So for lots of storage, we could hide all our cables for the television and the DVD player and the Xbox, and some more extra books over there, as well as all of our Wi-Fi and all those cables are just tucked away, hidden. And then the main thing now is that we opened up this fireplace. It used to be a very narrow opening, and in fact, in front of it was a gas heater. And we removed that, got rid of it, and then we had All Time Greats come in, and they opened it up and put in a wood-burning stove, which we've been using at least 4 times a week, sometimes every day. Especially during this Christmas, I think we'll have it burning every single day. But yeah, I love this room. It's much more open now. And I think you may recall from last time that this corner of the living room was a closet, and we opened that up. So this now is probably our largest room, and we spend most of our time in here. This is where we set up our tree. And in terms of Christmas traditions, we do put up a tree. We don't buy a new fresh tree every year. We just have a artificial tree, but it's very convenient because it saves us money, and we don't have to go out and chop a new tree down and worry about all the pine needles and stuff getting the house dirty. But what is special this year for us that we're doing is that we put the tree up with no decorations to begin with, and then every day of Advent we've added an ornament. And I've gotten a little bit behind because we're now very, very close to Christmas, and there should be more on there, but that has been a new thing for us. I think the British tradition is to do the tree, also to do the stockings, but mainly to do a Christmas sack, which we don't do, and we haven't done that yet, unfortunately. And then decorating in general, just trying to do the Advent stuff. We have some Advent train here. As you can see, we're very close to Christmas, and the kids get to read a little verse out of it and have a little piece of chocolate. Some M&Ms are in here, you can see. And then the Christmas cards. Now, something that we've done in the past, we haven't done yet this year, is we do try and hang our Christmas cards on a string and dangle it somewhere, but I haven't gone into that yet. But I do like that tradition. We didn't do that in America, so I like that, and I think we have adopted that. So I need to do that like today. Okay, let's move out into the kitchen. Which hasn't changed much since you last saw our update on the house. The main difference is that we've added the finishing touches to the what is it called again? We call it crown molding, they call it coving. And now the last thing on the ground floor that we've changed a lot is our lean-to, which we would call a conservatory. And remember, this was originally dark brown, and we painted the whole thing white, so the interior and the exterior. We also removed the window that was here, that was pointing into our cupboard area. We removed it, we blocked it off, and we put a bookshelf. And so now it's very useful because when we do our Advent wreath, which is every day approaching Christmas, we can just pull the books out right from here. And that's where we do our Advent devotional. And we do that with our Advent wreath, where we light 1 candle per week that leads up to Christmas. So now we are on the 4th week, so we would light all 4 of these outside ones. And then the middle one doesn't get lit until Christmas Day. And then we do continue to light the Christmas days for 12 days because Christmas is a season. So it's the first 12 days starting on Christmas Day. And then it ends at Epiphany when they bring Jesus to the temple to present him. But anyway, we've decorated this with a lovely painting by Leonardo da Vinci. And this is the Annunciation, the angel Gabriel telling Mary that she's going to give birth to the Messiah. Christmas dinner. What do you eat for Christmas dinner? Well, we have learned to adopt the British Christmas dinner, which is, it tends to be a roast, a turkey, but because I don't like turkey and it's usually dry, I end up making duck, which is, I did buy a duck. I put it in the freezer because we won't be having it this right now, but I get a whole duck, $6.99 at Lidl, which is amazing. And then, so instead of that, we're doing a roast beef sirloin joint. So we're going to do that with gravy. I'm going to make some homemade Yorkshire puddings, which is definitely something we didn't have in America. That is totally British. And the other thing we didn't have in America were these, and I cheat because I make them from frozen, but the roast potatoes. Like this is definitely a thing that we've picked up since living here, is to roast potatoes instead of doing mashed potatoes. So we're going to have that. We're skipping the Brussels sprouts because I already had it for Thanksgiving and for Christmas dinner. So I'm a bit Brussels sprouted out. So we're going to do some green beans and some salad instead. And then the other thing about desserts is I did pick up some of these from Tesco. So the classic Yule log, also not an American thing. This is definitely a British tradition to have a Yule log. So we're gonna have that. I also got the Christmas pudding. What I forgot or just couldn't find was just a little bottle of brandy or whiskey to pour over this. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet about that. But yeah, we're gonna do the Christmas pudding. I did buy and find some brandy butter or brandy cream and brandy sauce. So I'm very excited because this year we're hosting some internationals from China, and we're gonna basically teach them about, this is caramel liquor extra thick cream, and then this is brandy cream. So we're gonna add that to our Christmas pudding after I flame it and everything. And then the Christmas crackers. That's something that when people mention Christmas crackers, I literally thought they were talking about like crackers.
People.
No, I thought they were talking about like this, crackers for Christmas. But no, they're the kinds that you pull apart and you have a little, joke and a little toy. So we're also going to do that hopefully with our international guests and show them what the British Christmas is kind of about. Besides that, any other food items? Mulled wine. We didn't have that in America either. So I did buy a bottle of mulled wine from Tesco. Am I allowed to have any of this year? This is so nice. So we hope that you guys are having a wonderful Christmas season, that your Advent has been peaceful and joyful, and that during this Christmas tide that you can enjoy your family. Hopefully you can enjoy some time off from work. And we really appreciate you guys watching our videos every week. We've only been doing this for 2 years and a half, and we couldn't have imagined the amount of support and love that you guys give us. So thank you so much. We also want to just say thank you to our amazing patrons on Patreon, especially the wonderful patron who wants to remain anonymous, who gave us the gift that Felipe is holding right now, which is this amazing stabilizer for the DSLR. We thank you so much for that. It's such a blessing to us that you've given this to us, and we can hopefully use it to do more videography and to do more artistically designed videos. So do let us know what other things that you'd like us to make videos of, and we will continue checking out the reaction videos and talking about British culture, because there is so much to learn, there is so much to talk about, and we appreciate it. So thank you guys for having us in your lovely country, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas. Bye!